Hi there, my name is Andrew, and welcome back to my watch journeys. So, today we have on the board an approximation, homage if you will, of a Doxa 300 sub. So, what do we have? Most important part, for me anyway, well actually apart from the dial, it's probably more important, is the case. So, as you can see, it's I'm going for the orange look on the Doxa, and thankfully it's a 3 PM stem, which we all know I have problems with if it's not. On the back, it's quite nice actually. It's just tactical frog, which is an interesting motif, and automatic movement, all stainless steel, water resistant, 200 meters. I'll never test that. Sapphire crystal, but the finish on it really good. Chamfered edges here, which are brushed, then polished, then brushed on top. The frog emblem on the crown, sapphire crystal, yeah. Bezel action, rather pleasing. Possibly 120. I think a lot of them are nowadays, but it's quite nice. A little bit of play, slight little bit of play on that, but you know, but it and it's interesting that the whole bezel goes around, just a little bit in the middle, and the black, the black writing stays stationary. So don't really understand how that works. I'm sure some of you do, but I'm not a diver, and that's not what I build them for, or even wear them for. So there you go. But yeah, really nice case. Going for hands that have an orange loom, orangey loom in them, black on the outside, and orange loom in the middle, so it matches the orange. Actually, when I put it on there, you might not actually see it, so that might be a bit strange, but we'll see. That's what I went for. The dial is lovely, nice and glossy, has no date window, you'll notice, and the movement I have does have a date on. Oh my god, what's he going to do? Well, nothing is the short answer, because on the movement, which is an NH35 movement, it is already slightly recessed underneath that plastic outer. Now I could just take the date off, and I'm sure I could have a YouTube video that shows me how to do that. Wouldn't be that difficult, but it's going to expose stuff underneath. It's not the way it was made. I will undoubtedly break something, so let's not do that. So I'm going to leave it on. It is slightly recessed. It's not going to get caught on anything, so I'm happy to leave it in place. I'm sure some of you won't be happy that I'm doing that, but that's what I'm doing. Does it actually work? We wind it up. Yeah. Kicks into life. Look at that. It's alive. So yes, I'm not going to do anything fancy with the rotor, because it's on the back of the case. It's a blank, which I actually prefer, because unless you're getting a really high-end movement, I don't think there's much point in seeing what's going on inside, personally. As long as it's sealed and it does its job. And if it's not particularly, you know, I mean, this is not ugly or anything. You know, it's well finished enough for what it is. But it's no, you know, I don't know, Audemars Piguet or Patek Philippe or whatever. It's a workhorse movement. So let it do its job and take it from there. So, first things first. Oh, there's a stem in there as well, which I always tend to forget, but that is a stem. So I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to jam. I don't believe I've done that. I'm going to jam my gloves in. Oh my god. Right. These are great. They do the job, but I hate them. Okay, so we're going to get the movement, get a movement holder, pop that in there, and put the dial, so you can just put this to one side for the time being, and the hands, they'll be coming in soon. Oh, a bracelet, by the way, I didn't mention that, did I? Bracelet is quite good. So beads of rice effect there in the middle, screws, as you can see, and no micro adjustment, but has a little adjustments there. A milled clasp, nice, stainless steel, and solid end links. And comes with, I mean, when you order it, and I'll put the link in the description. When you order it, it does come as it is like one order piece, even though it comes in 2 pieces. But yeah, solid end links as well. Not the cheapest of cases I've ever bought. I think this was about 75, 80 pounds. What's that one? Maybe it's 90, just over $90. But yeah, quite a nice, good quality bracelet. And again, let's put that over to one side because we don't need that at the moment. So we'll just pop that in there. Try not to lose anything over there. Okay, so movement dial. Let's get them together. And whoops, another empty container for me to add to my massive collection already. So let's look on the back here. So it's going to go this way up. That's where the writing is. It comes with three feet on, which is unusual. So I need to figure out exactly which one we're going to put it onto. So look for the holes in here, which is the bigger hole there. And it's going to be that one, I think. Yeah. So I'll cut the bottom 2 off. I think that's what you do. Oh no, hang on, there's only 2 that side. That's weirdly set out, isn't it? That's got to come off, I think. Pretty sure, let's just check. Looking at the hole that's there. Yeah. Yeah, so that one and that one got to come off. Get me clippers. Clippers. There we go. Put the movement out of the way. We don't want to get anything in the movement. Now I've forgotten. Now I've forgotten which ones I'm clipping off. So let's, you know what? Measure twice, cut once. So into there, so it's that one. So definitely don't want the one below it, so that one can go. Come on. That's gone. I've done it. And I don't need this one, because I'm not sure what it's for. Okay. So that's going to go in like that. And the next one goes in, is that one there? Yeah. So on this one, we're going to get rid of this one and this one. If I've got this wrong, this is going to be a really short video. Right. So, let's pop it on. It goes into there. Into there. Yay. I think I did it right. Well, it doesn't fall off the upside downy test. So that's good. So that's on. So hands, Rodico, and we need the pushers. So let's get to it. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I was going to say it matters about putting it at 12 o'clock, but it really doesn't matter putting it at 12 o'clock, does it? Because the date's not going to change over. So just as long as because the date doesn't change, I don't need to bother about the date. I just have to line I can put it at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock, as long as it's actually lined up the hours to the hours and the minutes to the minutes, then it's not going to be a problem as to where it actually goes. Well, I'll do 12 o'clock, because that's what I'm used to. So yes, so anyway, the hours go on first. The reason I'm doing this today is because the weather outside is truly awful. It is spring in the northeast of England, so we've had hail, sleet, a little bit of snow. It's now raining. It went so cloudy before that it actually got dark in the house. So yeah, you can tell it's spring in the northeast of England. So on this one we want a bigger one, so like a wider section, because it's a wider, sort of a bigger circle for it to go pop onto. And okay, and last time I said I needed some new Rodico. I haven't actually got any yet, just to be clear. So let's see, I'm going to stay, because normally I change camera angles at this time, but I've done that before and you still can't see anything. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So not too much pressure, just enough to get it seated in properly. And then can we move it? So hang on, push it out and it moves. Doesn't catch anything. Does it look flat and straight? It does. Yeah, it does. Okay. Happy with that. Let's get the minutes on. Yep. Get it the right way up, that would help. Change this for a smaller one, so we're putting the minutes on because it sits onto a smaller section. And I think probably this one. There are actual exact ones you should use. I don't know what they are, and they probably change for each one. I just put them on so they fit. That's my test. Let's see if it worked so far. Okay, come on. Never as easy as it looks on TV. Oh my goodness me. Supposed to put the second sound on, isn't it? There we go. Pretty much exactly where I want it. Nope, that's not going on, is it? Maybe that's too small. Maybe I'll go for the bigger one. We all know when I push this up it's going to fall off, don't we? I'm going to push it on there with a little bit of force. Okay. Seems to have worked. It's not catching on anything. What do I like for clearance? Yeah, pretty good, I think. Perhaps a little bit close. So I'm going to just go on the back of it a little bit. Still a little bit close. It's not made any difference at all. So I'm just going to put a little bit more pressure. No, it's not changing at all when I do that. The thing is, you don't want to force these things, you really don't. Bad things happen when you force tiny... Ah, that's better. Oh, that's almost perfect. Oh, I like that. See, in the past I would have just accepted it and gone off with it, but you know what? It does make me feel better to know that it's on there properly. Right, so Modico again, and this is always a fun one with me. The one I always struggle with is the seconds. So I am right-handed. I'm going to set it so that it will tick if I put it in correctly. I'm going to have to use my glasses, otherwise I'll see nothing, nada. Glasses off. Correct one on. Alive. Oh my God's sakes. Get up. Oh, it's just not playing at all. So at this point, the more perceptive amongst you will have realised I've made a pretty basic error, and the dial has been put in, or back in, upside down. So yeah, me being short-sighted, I think those black letters in the above the middle there they look to me, because I'm, like I say, I should be wearing glasses, they look to me fine. So I'm just winding it up there to make sure it works, which it does. And yeah, so it is upside down, so it does take me a while to figure this out. But you know, if you don't show this warts and all, kind of what's the point in showing the video that just shows exactly what I did and how easy it was? I don't know if any of you have made this particular mistake. Perhaps you're not the same age as me or have the similar eyesight problems that I have. But yeah, there you go. So I'm still trying to congratulate myself for making the putting the hands on, but at some point I am going to realise that they're going to have to come off again. Yeah, and for whatever reason the second hand is not in properly, and it's not going to be working properly. So anyway, it's going to have to come off. So there you go. Yes, trying to think of what else I could say really apart from. So there you go. It starts. Oh, it keeps on. Oh no, it stops there now. I've no idea why it was doing that. It's got nothing to do with the fact that the dial was on upside down. But that's what it was doing. It was wound enough, so it had enough wind in it to make the seconds go. But yeah, for whatever reason, it didn't like that. Now that as I'm doing a commentary, this is after the fact. I still don't know why I did that. It is working now, and I don't think that's anything I did. I think what I did anyway, was I think I seated it wrong in the first place. So when I put it in, when I did actually put it on there and it did start to tick, I think it's actually not seated on the pinion. I think it's seated just off, and even though it's turning, it's obviously not doing the job that it should be doing. So to be honest, the whole thing needs to come off anyway. And there's no other way you're gonna fix a problem like that with leaving the hands on. They are gonna have to come off. Also, the more perceptive among you will also realise, see there, how the minute hand gets stuck because it's actually too big. Yep, and also the seconds is also too big. But again, I haven't realised that, and that's unusual because I think when I ordered it, I ordered it also to fit an NH35, the hands, but the length of the minute hand, which is the longest, I think was 14.5. I think that's what it came up as. And normally I think that's 14.5 millimeters. So that's like, what's that? 1.4, 1.45 centimeters. And there you go. See, I have realized. And yeah, I think 12 is about the length, the longest you can have. 12, 12.5 is the longest you can have to fit on a 28.5 dial. But you know what? You live and learn. And yes, I've learned that that was on upside down. Now I'm terrified that, obviously, having cut the hands off, sorry, cut the feet off, that it won't fit on properly. But I put it on correctly in the first place, so that isn't going to be an issue, I don't think. And let's have a look. Just trying to check what point we're up to. So yeah, give it a clean, and we're going to put the hands back on. So don't worry, putting the hands back on this time, I am going to speed it up. I wouldn't want to put you through all that pain again. And I've also removed shots of my head, which are, well, constant throughout. So there we go. So it's all nicely speeded up for you. So you don't have to think, really, he's done it again, has he? So yeah, I just use the same technique to put it on, to put the hour hand on. There we go. That's nicely done. It's much better this way. Wish I could do this in real life. And then the minute hand, which I still haven't realised is too long, but hey ho, we are about to discover that. So yep, that's on nicely. Lovely. I need to put it at 10 to 2. Now, the best way to put it, that I've found now, is not to have my Rodico at the very end of the second hand. Is to have it more like nearer to the middle, or nearer to the other end, where it's going to go actually be seated, and you get a lot more control that way. I so far haven't figured it out, but yeah, now you see, now the seconds are working because I've actually seated it correctly. Yeah, and I think the clearance is fine on that one. So yeah, this is not going to be the last time I take these hands off and put them back on, but every time I do this, I'm not going to say how many more times I do it, but don't worry, it does get speeded up, so you don't have to go through all that pain again. But yeah, when you're going to put the second hand on, I did find this time that if you put the rudder comb closer towards where it sits, or the pinion end, and then hover over and go directly above with the hand plunger, it's a much better way of doing it. There you go. That's about one tip I can give you from this. Obviously, apart from don't put your dial on upside down, and perhaps get a pair of spectacles that work. I do have reading specs, and I also have specs for doing this as well. Because obviously I need to get quite close sometimes to do things. It's quite a quite small parts. But yeah, perhaps I should wear my. I got reading specs that really actually were for working VDUs. So I don't know if there'd be any better. There probably would be for this. I should really try that. I'll go and find which drawer I put them in, and get them back out. So what are we doing here? Oh, we're thinking that we're going to put that away for the last time, and we're going to try. Yes, let's see if we can actually get it sat in its case. So clear the decks, get the cushion out. We need to take up, yep, give it a quick clean, quick brush, still ticking. And oh, now we need to do that delicate little maneuver of getting the crown out and the stem out, but whilst holding it at the same time. That worked. Okay, we take the crown off the case, which is, it has to say, it's a nice case. Get the back off, and give it a quick, yeah, any dust in there, get that out, and pop it on. And it looks lovely. However, it stops. And I've realised why it stopped, because stuff is too big and it's actually bending the seconds and also the minute hand. Now there's a nice shot of my grey hair. And yeah, I can now see how it's actually bending them because it's too long. And the case obviously sort of concaves in. So I think try not to stab too much of the mechanism as I get it out. Now, what do? I realise, well, I don't realise, I think I can then trim it down with the clippers whilst it's in situ. This is perhaps not the best idea I've ever had, but what we're going to do there is stop. So at this point, what I decided to do is put the new stem in, but I even struggled to open the box. I think it's just one of those builds where, whether I was in the wrong mood or whatever, I'm really not sure. But yeah, it just, everything just seems not to go my way. And I'm sure we've all had those kind of builds or those kind of days where you really just should have stayed in bed. But I was really looking forward to doing this. And it does look, I mean, Doxa in general, the look is fantastic. And the history of Doxa, I'm sure you all know that they used to produce cases for some, some high-end clientele. Um, and this particular case I've got from the from Tactical Frog. Oh, there's the hair again. It is a well-made case. I will say that, and also, the bracelet as well. Like I say, for a combined £75 or $90, it's a bargain. So yeah, here we are. I'm going to be putting the hands on again. So I'm putting the now. Am I actually going to cut the hands yet? So I'm cleaning the dial with the Rodico. And let's put the hour on. Yep, don't worry, like I say, it is all speeded up so we don't have to go through all that pain again. And then we get, or we find the minute hand, which I have actually trimmed down at this stage. Whether or not I've trimmed it down enough is to be found out, but I have. It's no longer as pointy as it used to be. And then we put the second hand on. I think this is when I actually do discover how to put the second hand on a lot better, as in using the rudder and go to the middle. Okay, so we're looking at it. We're gonna have to take the stem out again. So yeah, move the rotor arm out the way and do our trick to get the stem out whilst you have the hands in. If anyone knows of a better way of doing that, please tell me, but I seem to have got that particular trick fairly well sorted. Right, so we're going to put the top on again. And have we managed it? Well, the second hand looks like it's still ticking. But I think when I press down, I think it might, no, it's still ticking there. I think I'm looking at that and thinking, you know what? That might not have been quite enough. Yeah, there you go. Seconds have stopped again. But it is still just a touch too long. At which point we get to see the grey hair. And I'm realising that patience, Andrew, patience. And I've said this before in my videos, but that really is the crux of all of this. You just have to have patience, because we all put things on and then have to go back to it. And then, and then go back to it, and then go back to it. And yeah, that's just part of the joy that is horology, or, I'm not saying I'm a horologist, but, this is my hobby. This is what I like to do. Not sure what I'm doing there. Am I just realizing it still needs to... There you go. Yeah, so put it back in. I'm taking it off again. So don't worry. I'm going to speed this bit up as well. Apart from obviously seeing the grey hair. So off that comes. Yes, get the clippers out. Right. And I clip it as much as I can. I think my head gets in the way of a lot of these shots, so I've actually got rid of that. I'm sure you don't want to see my top of my head, especially the bald spot. Okay, so we'll give it another clean. Oh, bald spot again. Right, so are we happy now, Andrew? Are we? Yeah. Yes, we're going to pop the... hopefully this should be sped up again. That's the hour going on. Yep, by this time I can't be bothered to go all the way around. It's just get the thing on there. Pop the minute hand on. So that's in. Hopefully I think this is the last time I do this. Yeah, as you can see, it's not catching anymore on my fingers, which is a good sign, I think. And then we're going to put the second hand on. You should probably have to get right over this so you won't actually see it. But yeah, we use the vertical, and there you see, I have to go right up to the end of it, right up to the middle of it, sorry. A much better way of putting it on. And there you go, it's on, and it appears to be ticking. Okay, so let's take the stem out again. Oh, quick shot of the old grey mass. Sorry about the blurring of the photo of the picture there. So I'm happy with it now, I think. Pop that in so the part shows that we need to press down on, and out comes the stem. Yes, done that so many times. I'm getting quite practiced at that one. And case goes over the top. A bit of a blurring again because of the headshot. Right, is it still ticking this time? Even if I press it, as in make sure it's it's in as well as it should be, and it still ticks. That's the test. And yet it appears still to be ticking. So let's pop a stem in and resize the stem. Okay. So we can see how much needs to come off. That's the gap in between the case and there you go. Yeah, in between the case and the crown. So that's how much we need to chop off. Now, obviously, I've said before, I'll say it again. We go in, we chop off perhaps a little less than that, and then we work down till we get to an agreed level where it will actually work and where it will screw in properly. Okay. So it needs to come out, and we need to use our clippers again. Oh, we're going to give it a quick clean first. Okay, there we go. So let's get this thing out and get it cut. Okay. Put that to one side, and let's cover it. Oh, we're going to cover it with the base. That's probably a better way of doing it. That's to make sure that anything that I clip off from the stem doesn't go flying into the movement and make things even worse, if that's possible. Okay, so crown off, clippers into action, and I think that's about right. I know I don't measure it, and a lot of people use a Sharpie to measure it, how much they need to cut off. I don't. I've never found I had to. So get my mother's nail file, made in Germany. It's a good nail file. Okay, and very gently, using very little pressure, let's get the burrs off. Anything that's going to give us a problem screwing onto the crown. Just want to gently, very gently rub that off so you round the edge off. So I'm twirling it also as I go along, just to make sure anything comes off the edge. And again, just do it dead gently, no rush. We've been here long enough already. We've made enough mistakes. We don't need to make any more. I do that on the rodico to get any little bits of metal that might have been there off, and let's screw it into the crown. Nice and tight-ish. Obviously need it to tight, to give a good idea of where we stand. To one side, let's get the case back. Take that off and pop in the stem. Oh, if I can find it. Yes, my depth perception is also something that's not very good. Right, so we're in, and it's still not enough, as you can see, because you can't quite push it on far enough for it to screw down. So it's going to have to come out again. And this is part, this is just how you do it, and I honestly don't mind doing this at all. I quite enjoy it. And I'd like to get it right, because once it's right, and you have that satisfaction of knowing that it's the right length, it's going to do the job properly. When I first started doing these, it was a struggle. But no, it's not anymore. It's quite an enjoyable part of the job for me. I think if you don't enjoy this sort of thing, then obviously you really shouldn't be doing it. But I do. I do. I don't. Do I enjoy making mistakes? I enjoy learning from them. Um, but And if you don't make mistakes, then you're not, you can't be doing anything if you don't make mistakes. So yeah, I enjoy learning from them. Do I go and make the same mistake again? It has been known. But there you go. So off again, and we're going to snip a tiny little bit off. Yeah, go on. That's off. And again, very gently, nice long strokes. We don't want to snap that stem. We've done some work on it. We've got it near enough to the correct length. So we just need to make sure it's all the burrs come off. No sharp bits of metal left on the end. There we go. And again, just twirling it to make sure we get all the edge of. Yep, that's fine. Give it a little stab in the rodico. And again, put the crown on. The crown goes on fairly tight. Not as tight as it can be, but tight enough so that we get a good idea of where we are on the fit. So you need to back off so I can see where I'm actually putting it into. Okay. There you go, that's in. So now I tried to screw in a crown with these finger plastic horrible things on. It's not easy. But I do find that, I managed to get it done. Is it still ticking? It is. So it's in there nice and tight. Crown is on. It's not quite, I think it's not quite short enough yet, but it's not long enough. I'll just find a little bit of, oh yes, that's the gasket coming off, which I'm going to put some grease on. There we go. Get the little grease pot. Look at that. Not using my fingers at all. And put it in the center so we get the grease on it. There we go. Give it a little twirl. That's it. Make sure the grease is all over it. Not that this watch is ever going to see, any kind of water that would give it a problem. Certainly won't go swimming in it. I know it says it's a 200-meter water resistant, but I can't test that. I don't have the machinery for that. And yeah, I'd rather leave that to the professionals, people who actually know what they're doing. So, if I buy a watch that says it's 200 meters or whatever, then yeah, I'll probably, if it's a good brand. I mean, 200 meters is like a Seiko kind of depth or a Tudor depth. Yeah, I'll believe them. And yes, I would happily sort of, go in the shower if I had to, or go in a swimming pool. But I'm very unlikely ever to go diving. I don't like the thought of putting one of those things over my head. As it is, I have to wear a CPAP mask on a night time, and I don't particularly like doing that. So no, I'll never be testing this. Okay, so yep, it seems to work. Oh, I'm just putting it to the right time, I think. Okay, yes, just checking my watch on my wrist, which by the way is a Tudor black base ceramic, which I actually bought in Geneva. That was a lifetime goal that I'd set myself and did, which was nice. Okay, so it's got to come out again because we need, well, one thing we need to put a little bit of Loctite on the end, which is something you should always do and something I didn't tend to do at the start, but I definitely believe you should do just so it's sealed up and also stays in place. As I can imagine, it would be difficult to get a stem out if you didn't have the crown on the end. So Go back into our stem holder, take the crown off, and we're just going to give it another little rub because I'm not quite happy that it's quite as short as it should be, but it's not at the length where you can really cut anything off. If you cut anything off now, it would be too much. So I'll just do a nice, long, slow session on my mother's nail file. Okay. There you go. And don't worry, Mum isn't missing the nail file. She's no longer with us, sadly. I'm sure she'd appreciate me using this. So there you go. As you can tell, I probably don't use it actually on my nails. Maybe I should. Especially when you see my hands all the time, but no, that's never going to happen, let's be honest. Right, so let's just, all the burrs are off. Well, they already were. What I'm trying to do now is like basically just shorten it. So I'm doing a lot more sort of to flatten it. And then if I have flattened it, then any burrs that have appeared from flattening it, we get those off by doing that. Okay, are we happy with that? I think we are, yes. So let's get rid of anything, little bits of metal that's left on. And, oh, I need to get the Loctite. There it is. Tiny little amount to go on the end. I mean, really tiny little amount. I think I'll have this Loctite till the bottle actually dries up. I don't use it for anything else. And obviously the tiny amounts I do use for doing this mean that I'll have it for a while. So yeah, tiny little amount on. In we go. Nice and tight as we dare, without snapping it. And then any excess that has appeared, let's just rub it, or roll it on the radical and get rid. Nicely done. Yep. So unloosen it. Let's bring the case back into play. There you go. And nope, not quite. Pull it out, put it back in. Yeah, I think that's in now. And again, trying to use your fingers with those things covering them. I think I eventually do get there. There we go. That's on. Right. Oh, I think I just noticed something that needs. I think a little bit of speck or something that needs to come off. I'm using a little bit of plastic. Oh no, because I'm just making sure the ring is actually sat in correctly. So when we put the case back on, we don't end up crushing it or somehow putting it on incorrectly. Yep, quick blow with the blowy. Any bits of dust, hopefully, to get out. Oh, and I noticed the rotor was a bit marked. I don't know, not from my hand, because I don't think my fingers have touched that rotor, but for whatever reason, yeah, I just think just get rid of any sort of little marks that are on there. I'm definitely going to have to replace that rodicle for next time. I'm not doing myself any favours by keep on using it, but it did the job. Gives it a nice little clean. Now I probably should have blown in the case back. I didn't. I didn't do it off camera either, so I'm not going to lie. So here's me now trying to put the case back on. Don't know why I struggle with this, but I do. Yeah, still struggling with that. And I like to show you this because I'm sure we all do this. But then like I say, you see videos where it's just case back on, dunk done, and that's I don't want to show that. I don't want to show that sort of video or whatever I make. I just want to make warts and all. So let's get my little Bergon ball, try and put it on. That didn't work. I'm just trying to see if it's actually level. Have I caught it? I think I have. There you go. There it's on. Right. And there we have. Oh, give it a quick wipe, yep. It is a nice looking watch. But for me, there's something missing. Because on a proper Doxa, on the left hand upper quadrant, you would have the Doxa name and even the model number. I just think it looks a little bit plain when it doesn't have that. And don't get me wrong, it's a nice looking watch. The fact that I managed to cut the hands to ship to size and it actually works is, let's be honest, a bit of a miracle. But yeah, looking at it, I'm still thinking, okay, let's get these horrible things off and get the strap on. Because we don't need these on to put the bracelet on, do we? No, we do not. Get them off. Oh, yep, don't forget the thumb. Right, yeah, that's much better. Right then, so case down, let's bring the strap in. It's a lovely strap, it is a really nice one. Like I said, definitely quality. And worth paying the extra for. A lot of straps, a lot of cases you get, cases and strap are less than sort of $50 on AliExpress. This one was more. Like I said, probably in the region of about 90. Because the prices you see on the website, on the AliExpress website, don't include tax, which is for someone who is from the UK, that's a bit of a problem because everything we buy in the UK has tax already in the price. So I'm a bit of surprise at the end when it's like, well, hang on, it said it was going to be this much, but it's now this much. Yeah. So I did struggle with that at the start, but how much tax do the extra they charge? I'm not too sure. I should work that out, but I haven't, which probably speaks volumes for me. So is that in? I think that is actually in. Yes, good lord. Now, really, to put the other end in, I should have, had the strap in two pieces. Just took a spring bar out the middle, and for whatever reason, I don't. Well, I know what the reason is because I'm obviously just, don't want to go through the trouble of having to do that, and I'm always in a hurry to get, when I get to this stage, I just want to get the thing. Oh, that's my heading in. I just want to get it. I want to get it on, so I can get it on my wrist and show you what I've done. Because we're all very close to that point, which I love this. I love when it all comes together and you can see what you've done. Okay, so yeah, just struggling a little bit to get this on, and I think we're nearly there. Oh no, oh no, no, we're not nearly there. I've obviously not put it in correctly. Let's go and try that again. Try and get my head out the way. Come on, get out the way. People are trying to see what I'm doing. Right. Yeah, I really should have put the strap in half. That would be the best way of doing this. But oh, get your head. No, yeah. I think there would be a lot more head, to be honest, because I do get right over it. But we're nearly there. No, we're not nearly there. Are we nearly there? Is it on? Look how delicately I'm going, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. No, it's still not on. Okay. Come on, just see if you can get it in there. I would say get my head out of the way, but I'm not listening. Right, nearly. Side in, in. Okay, bear with me. Maybe I should have sped this one up. But again, this is all part of the build, isn't it? So, you want to be seeing what you what you're doing. So yeah, so my advice on when you're putting a metal strap on, same way you put a rubber strap or a leather strap, is have two halves of it, because that just gets in the the rest of the strap just gets in the way and makes it even more difficult. As you can see, oh, I still haven't got that on. This does take a while. Yeah, and I really, now I'm thinking about it, probably should have sped this up. Okay, nearly in. Don't worry, can't be much longer. It does actually eventually go in, believe me. We do get there. Okay, it looks like, have I got that in now? I think I have. And then pop that in as well. Just make sure that's seated correctly. Right, hopefully this is it. It's not pulling out. Yes, I think have we done it? Oh, I'm still not happy. Something's still not right. Yeah, I think at this point it actually probably is in, but it took me that long to do this side that I'm just not sure I've done it correctly. Right. Yes. Go on. It must be done. Yes, it's the same as the other side, Andrew. Come on. Right, we're happy that we've done it. Yes, we are. Okay, there it is with the strap on. It's a handsome looking beast. I try and put it on there, but on the cushion, but it doesn't fit, so we take the cushion aside. Yes, there it is. And it's still ticking. And as you can see, the hands are now flat on the end. Well, the minute hand is now flat on the end, and I cut a little bit more off the second hand as well. Basically, put them in the clippers as hard as I could, and then wiggle them a bit. But now we get to put it on the wrist. This is always a good part. What does it actually look like? Now, I haven't actually sized it correctly yet, but the band. But there you go. Yes, that is a handsome looking piece. It hasn't got anti-reflective on, as I think you can tell from that shop. It says it's sapphire, but there's no okay. So this is me deciding I'm going to put a Seco decal in that top quarter where it would normally say Doxa. Okay, so I'm using sharp implements. I shouldn't be left alone really with a sharp knife, but I have been. So again, cut these out, and I'll share the link where I got these from. So basically, what it is on these decals, they've got two layers or three. You've got the actual Seco name in the middle, and on either side, so like a sticky, transparent layer. So I actually managed to get this off without the bottom sticky layer being on. So it just leaves the top layer. So I can stick the decal onto the dial. And it's always make sure that the dial, I have already watercooled the dial to make sure there's no grease. Obviously, the less grease, the better. Otherwise, it won't stick properly. But this is only the second time I've ever done this. As you can probably tell, I am definitely not an expert. So it needs to go. I've left the hands on for the reason that I put the minute hand at quarter to, so at least I have something level. Because I have put it. The only other time I put a decal on, it didn't. I didn't put it on level, and it was ever so slightly off. And there's nothing worse. Every time you look at it, you're like, oh, and you can't. Once they're on, they're on. Um, I really shouldn't be using a metal um implement on that very metal unresistant dial. But luckily I can get away with it. And also, I should be using perhaps two implements, but I'm not. I'm just using the one. So anyway, I'm going to get it level with the minutes. That should do. and I get it on, but as you can see, when I take it off, the O came off, and yeah, the O came off, and I lost it. I couldn't find it, and I had nothing to replace it with. So we don't have a Seco mod, we have a Seek mod. Yeah, I can't take that off. It is on there permanently. So I'll give it a little clean up. It's just been one of them builds. Yes. So there you go. It doesn't, I mean, it's the fact that it's actually there, it does look better on the watch. But obviously, every time you look at it, it's the O is missing. Um, at some point, I think in the future, I will have to try and put an O on there. So I'll have to maybe have to order some more decals and do that. But for the time being, it's just gonna have to be the way it is. But is the watch still ticking? Yes, it is. All that messing around, I haven't managed to ruin the watch, which is good. So, yeah, that's just what it looks like when it has the O missing. Again, warts and all, showing you everything. So give it another quick squirt with the air. And then let's get this thing back in the watch. Yeah. I mean, if there was a company called Seek, it would look great. But yeah, okay. It's fairly obvious that it's not. But as you can see, the second hand fits nicely, and the minute hand now fits nicely. And actually, from cutting it and then using a wiggle method for it to come off seems to work good for both. I didn't break them, which is a miracle. But yeah, let's get this thing back into its case. So we need to take. My God, I just used my fingers on the rotor. I wasn't putting those rubber things back on again. I just wasn't doing that. So yes, there you go. And pull with your little fingers. There you go. It's out. It's about the only thing I haven't had trouble doing with on this particular build. Get the watch, which I have by this time actually separated. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to seat it back in properly. There you go. And over the back. Try not to too much of the rotor, Andrew. But get that in. Yeah, I have to like hold the movement to make sure I don't move it too much. There we go, it's in. And should be able to screw that down reasonably easily. Yeah, you see, it's so much easier when you just use your fingers. And let's get the back on. We're going to give it a quick squirt with the air first. Oh, good lad, well done. And get that back on. Yay. And now the usual trouble of getting the back on. Trying to use the ball. Has it worked? No, it hasn't. Right, unloosen it a little bit. Now, I'd hate to cross the thread on the back. I mean, I don't think I could, to be honest, using the ball. I actually don't think it has enough force to cross the thread. But yeah, for whatever reason, I just do struggle to get these things seated in the back. Well, you got to make sure it catches. I think I've caught it there, and then we just need to use the ball from there. Yeah, that's on. There we go. Get it nice and tight. Oh, there we go. Come on, nearly there. How many turns do you need? That's it. I know it's tight enough now. Okay. Yep, it's still ticking. That's good. And let's put the spring bar that we've loosened. It does look good, better with that seat on. I'm actually wearing it now, and it does. But yeah, at some point I'm going to have to get order another pack of those decals. Oh, head in the way. Sorry about that. And I don't struggle too much to put this in for a change. Okay, in you go. There you go. And that, I think, is just about it. Back on the wrist. And I'm just having a nice look. Yep, there you go. And that's what it looks like. Our Seek Doxa mod. Thanks for watching. And I've got some more coming up if you can bear watching them. Yeah, let's make sure we got all the bits and pieces off. Okay, thank you, and see you next time.